Excellencies, distinguished participants, I declare open the fourth meeting of the 13th session of the Forum on Minority Issues. We will be proceeding to item number 5, towards a safer space for minorities, positive initiatives to address online hate speech, the role of national human rights institutions, human rights organizations, civil society, and other stakeholders. It is my pleasure to welcome our panelists for the discussion: Mr. Thomas Hughes, Director of the Facebook Oversight Board Administration; Mr. Andre Oboler, Social Media and Online Public Diplomacy Expert and Managing Director at the Online Hate Prevention Institute; and Mr. Gerald Joseph, Commissioner at the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia. Your speaking time will be 7 minutes each. I now give the floor to Mr. Andre Oboler, Social Media and Online Public Diplomacy Expert and Managing Director at the Online Hate Prevention Institute. You have 7 minutes. Thank you.
Excellencies, Special Rapporteur, Madam Chair, honourable participants and others in the audience, thank you very much for joining us and for giving me the opportunity. I'm just going to load some slides to support the talk I'm giving. There we go. In considering how we address online hate, one thing is clear. Wishful thinking is not enough. Neither are memes and videos opposing hate. Positive initiatives that bring people and communities together, education programs for schools, public advocacy or public education, counter speech is not enough. Empowering young people is not enough. These are dominant approaches which we've seen in recent years. They are what we have promoted even as the hate continues to rise. If we want to get on top of this problem, we need to take it more seriously. We need to invest both economically and through political capital in real solutions. I'm going to share a few positive responses I've been involved in and highlight lessons we can draw from them. I provided a longer paper with other initiatives, further details and references. In 2008, Israel convened the Global Forum for Combating Anti-Semitism, a gathering of civil society, academics, politicians and community leaders from around the world. It included a panel on internet anti-Semitism, where I released my work on Anti-Semitism 2.0, the normalization of hate through social media. My first lesson to share is that governments can convene forums and give a platform to civil society. Together with David Matters from Canada, I was honoured to co-chair the working group on internet and media anti-Semitism from 2009 until 2018. Each time we met, we compiled a report from participants with input giving a snapshot of the state of play. With the right structures, a broad range of experts and secretarial support, a solid picture can be created even as technology and threats rapidly evolve. A key challenge listed in 2009 was the lack of metrics or even an approach to measuring anti-Semitism in social media. In 2009, a proposal was put forward for software to crowdsource data, and the working group provided feedback and discussion. Defining grand challenges spurs work on solutions. In 2012, we took a project focused on online anti-Semitism and turned it into a standalone civil society organisation, the Online Hate Prevention Institute, with a remit to tackle all forms of online hate. There was groundbreaking work in 2012 on Aboriginal memes and online hate, in 2013 on Islamophobia on the internet, and work on anti-Semitism which identified blind spots in platform policies. Much of what we learned tackling one form of online hate is equally applicable to other forms of online hate. Supporting all minorities makes methodologies and tools more effective more quickly. It takes deep technical expertise to do this work, particularly to keep up with new platforms and technological change. There are a real skills gap. We can't expect every minority community to fill that gap. We need dedicated civil society organisations with the appropriate skills and a broad perspective working for all. We need collaboration between specialist civil society organisations and the people who live the reality of the online hate and the organisations that represent them. The software we built used in one case study of over 2,000 items of anti-Semitism and another of over 1,000 items of Islamophobia highlighted significant gaps in the enforcement by platforms. It highlighted the need for reporting outside of the platforms so that data could be shared between experts. To engage in tackling online hate, local civil society organisations need access to sophisticated reporting systems. They also need staff with the time and expertise to engage in the topic of online hate. Social media platforms are certainly profiting from online hate. I know this simply from the amount of online hate that the Online Hate Prevention Institute had to pay to ensure our content addressing this problem gets seen. This is perverse. Specialist civil society organisations working on online hate are not only acting as janitors for the mega corporations, we are paying them for the privilege. There is a shortage of deep civil society expertise in online hate and a huge demand. We need plans and resources to increase civil society's capacity. What you can see on the screen is an example of our software. On the topic of fake news, misinformation, disinformation, hate is often based on ignorance, and ignorance is compounded with misinformation and insinuation. The history of anti-Semitism highlights this, from the blood libels to the protocols of the Elders of Zion to Holocaust denial. Governments are increasingly adopting the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism. It is rapidly becoming a de facto standard. Those who have not adopted it should do so. Social media companies should clearly and explicitly ban both anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial. They should commit to using the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism and the IHRA working definition of Holocaust denial and distortion as tools to assist them in recognising and responding to online anti-Semitism. Similar definitions and broad consensus are needed on the hate affecting many other minorities. The work on anti-Semitism provides a model that should be applied to protect other communities as well. IHRA itself has recently adopted a working definition of anti-Roma hate. Again, something for governments and social media platforms to adopt and put into practice. There is much more work to be done to protect many more minorities, but a trail has been broken and there is a path ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.